talk to me.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm just trying to learn the fretboard after years and years and years of playing the guitar.
Yeah.
And so when I watch you with the strings all tuned to different things,
Yeah.
and you're able to figure out where chords are, and put chords together and create a composition
Right.
out of pre-existing chord structures, but on totally different strings. Are you doing that on the fly when you first
Not
start?
on the fly, no.
Or when you start out and you've got to think through, okay, well
I do
that's
very,
where-
very little on the fly. Like, it's not false modesty. I'm just not a particularly good improviser. The answer to your question is that there's a handful of tunings that I know reasonably well. Standard tuning, drop E tuning, dadgad tuning, a couple of others. Other ones I use for very specific things. I'll give you an example. Here's from the Isle of Barra in the Outer Hebrides, sung by Cathy McPhee, phenomenal singer. And I really wanted to arrange this as a guitar piece. I certainly can't sing in that language, and I just love the tunes. And it's very simple. And I could not find a tuning to make it work. And eventually, this emerged, which is something I learned from Martin Simpson. I learned a lot from Martin. This is G sus2. So there's G, D, G, C, D. Now here's the thing, I opened for Martin in 1991 when I was about 12.
Me too.
I know. And the first thing he played just blew my head off. There was some banjo music, Appalachian banjo music played on the guitar. And so on. I thought, that's fabulous, how do you do that? And I learned the tuning and found no other use for it whatsoever. Until I thought, this would be clown alive. Because I tried everything else. And then tried this tuning, and all of a sudden it worked. So here's an example of a tuning that I use, but God, don't ask me to improvise in it, and don't ask me to play Stairway to Heaven. Pretty much anything else. I know what I know. But then, years later, this is a very important thing. If you get into altered tunings and all that stuff, it's a kind of fashion statement these days to never use the same tuning twice in a row, and it gets a bit tedious to go to an acoustic guitar gig. Half of the show is listening to the guy tuning. I find the way to get your head around these tunings is to look for relationships between them. Like the absolute pitch of the string is not really important. Like this tuning from the bottom is C, G, D, G, C, D, and it's just a bunch of letters until the penny drops and you discover that if you go, forget the bottom note, that's not your root note. It usually is, but it's not here. Go to the fifth string and go up. Then it goes root, fifth, root, fourth, fifth. Dadgad tuning goes root, fifth, root, fourth, fifth, root, right? So it's okay, it's a crazy G tuning with a sus4 and a 4 on the bass and all the rest of it, but it's in reality a dadgad tuning shifted over a string. So everything you've learned in dadgad, if you learned dadgad, you could just translate. You just move it over one string and it's all there, right? Because the relationships between the strings are the same. And you also have this big fat bass thing. There's 4 on the bass as well, which is just gorgeous. So I'll play a bit kind of like, this is a lullaby. It's kind of unusual in Scots Gaelic song because they all have the same story. Scottish Gaelic songs have all got the same story, like, I met you once and now you're dead. that's all that happened.
It's a blues song.
It's gotta be.
Hebridean blues. This is
Blues.
lullaby. Such a beautiful word. We're 5 European guys sitting around a table debating who'd get the most beautiful language. And the English guy said, of course it's us, a lullaby. What a beautiful word. What a beautiful thing. Isn't that gorgeous? The French guy said, non, mais non, monsieur, non, le français est très beau. C'est un berceuse. If you ever wondered what the French for a lullaby is, a berceuse. The Spanish guy said, no. In Spanish, a canción de cuna. Gorgeous, canción de cuna. The Italian guy said, no, Italian isn't the most beautiful. In Italian, it's a ninna nanna. Oh, ninna nanna. The German guy pipes up, was ist wrong with Schlaflieder?